28th time this year, most in the NFL. And Kyle Orton, the rookie quarterback, 4th round pick out of Purdue. Play action on first down and throwing, and try to get it to Muhsin Muhammad on a slant, and the pass is incomplete. So Kyle Orton, Ben Roethlisberger has the most wins by a rookie quarterback since 1970, but Orton can tie for second with a victory today, tying Joe Ferguson and Chris Chandler. And when Rex Grossman went down in preseason, Orton has taken over. He can best Jim McMahon for the most touchdowns by a rookie quarterback with his next toss. 2nd down and 10 at the 31-yard line. Thomas Jones in motion to the right. And Orton will throw again. And this pass tipped, and it's going to be intercepted. Picked off and run back by Mark Roman, the strong safety. And it was Desmond Clark, the tight end. Ball bounced off of
something to loosen up this Green Bay defense so they're not getting 8 and 9 guys in the box.
2 tight ends on 2nd down and 10 at the 26. Kyle Orton completes the pass to Desmond Clark, and a 1-yard gain. Tackled by Mark Roman.
Now here's the guys that are going to be defending for the Green Bay Packers. And one of the things that we might see today with Chicago allowed to throw the ball down the field, these guys play a lot more press coverage than the teams who Chicago has faced over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Al Harris is very aggressive at the line of scrimmage. Ahmad Carroll kind of similar in that fashion. They're going to get more press coverage this week.
And as you saw, 7 interceptions, now 8 with Mark Roman's pick. So it's 3rd down and 9 at the 27-yard line.
Here's Ahmad Carroll. He's up there. He's in a press position. We'll see if he stays or bails.
3 receivers to the left for Kyle Orton. Gets good protection. And on the shallow cross, the pass caught by Bobby Wade. And Wade doesn't get much. So the Packers defense with an interception and then stopping Kyle Orton on 3 and out thanks to Mike Hawkins, the rookie. 4th down coming up, and the Bears will kick.
The weather.
Boy, both teams are extremely tentative starting off this game. Now the Packers 1st down on the 19-yard line. Gatto trying to go wide right, and good pursuit and good pressure by Ian Scott. A loss of 1 yard, and for our first game break of the day, let's welcome James Brown. JB.
Hey, Dick, how are you, buddy? First offensive series for Minnesota, trailing 3-0. Brad Johnson goes up top, 80 yards, touchdown toss to Corn Robinson. Vikings looking to go 5-0 with Brad Johnson at the helm. On top here, 7-3. Back to Dick, Darrell, and Tony.
And JB, we're going to be watching that Viking-Lion game because Minnesota coming in only 2 games behind the Bears. 2nd down and 12, and the pass on the slant, and it is caught by Robert Ferguson, who is hit hard on the catch by Nathan Vasher, who has come on big in his 2nd year in the NFL. 6-yard pickup on that pass.
Robert Ferguson, good to have him back in the lineup for the Green Bay Packers. We've talked about all these injuries. Javon Walker was out, so you go to Robert Ferguson. He's going to be the guy that comes in, but then he gets banged up. He's not back to 100%, but we talked about that tight end position. If he can be productive on the outside, give Brett Favre some options to try and take advantage of what this defense does.
3rd down and 5 on the Packer 24. Play action, Brett Favre's pass. Tony Fisher out of the backfield gets a 1st down. It is our first down of the game up to the 33, a gain of 10 yards with Brian Urlacher downfield on the coverage.
Just keeping an eye down here, guys, on the defensive backs on both sides of the ball. They're really not playing the pass as much as you would think. That's because neither team has really gone downfield. All those short passes, all the DBs, especially the corners, are looking in the backfield, just playing the quarterbacks right now.
And the sun is out for the first time today. We had snow flurries all morning. 1st down, Green Bay on the 34. Here is Gatto, and Gatto gets hit hard. And you can see a very physical Green Bay team. Hunter Hillenmeyer that time, an original Packer, by the way, holds Gatto to a gain of only 1.
You are going to have pursuit to the ball when you play against the Chicago defense. Everybody is going to get to the ball, and that's a trademark of the defenses that Lovie Smith has been a part of and implemented as a coordinator or a head coach. And in that time, you can't get just your guy blocked. You might have to block 1 or 2 guys at the point of attack.
Hillenmeyer was a 5th-round pick 2 years ago and released after week 1 because they needed to sign the receiver Antonio Freeman. And the Bears benefit. They fake an end around, and Gatto with a burst off the left side and a 1st down close to mid.
Bubba Franks got early in the game. I think that's another one of those burners. Kind of came in with his helmet up, and you just get that quick little bend of your neck.
1st down at the 47, and there's Donald Driver who is standing for the catch, and a first down for the Packers at the 43-yard line. A pickup of 11 yards, and the Packers moving the ball.
Yeah, watch how he fits into this open area right here. He gets up, he finds that little hole in the zone just behind Lance Briggs, number 55. As Lance was coming to the outside on his responsibility, which was the wider route, Brett Favre anticipates that and gets it right behind him for the catch.
And the 60th consecutive game with a catch, 300th of Donald Driver's career, leading the Packers in receptions with 5 touchdown catches as well. And a first down at the 43-yard line. Here is Gatto, and Gatto changing directions, going off the left side. Sancon Gatto run out of bounds, but there's a flag down at about the 43-yard line, and it appears to be against the Packers. So the ball back to the 47, first down and 14 after the penalty. In motion is Donald Lee, and here's Tony Fisher, and Fisher gets some blocking. So the Green Bay Packers offensive line off to the slow start with a couple of penalties, now opening up some running room for the backs. An 8-yard gain for Fisher, with Hillenmeyer making the stop.
Well, right now, the Green Bay offensive line is doing a good job, and Lovey's got to be frustrated. Watch, the pressure's coming down in here, and the ball is getting right back outside. Somebody is not getting up there and getting replaced. You saw right there, 54, Brian Urlacher, and 55, Lance Briggs, in the same hole. If this is a gap-oriented defense, one of those guys was wrong. Somebody needed to be outside of Alex Brown.
Gatto back in at second down and 7 on the Bears 40. Brett Favre completing to the fullback, William Henderson, and the loose ball. And the signal now is that Henderson did not have control. It is an incomplete pass.
You know, the runs that you guys are seeing on the field, a lot of the defensive linemen are running stunts inside and outside. That's why you're seeing a lot of guys in the same gaps. They don't need to do that. This defense is good enough to go and play a base defense and take care of this run, guys.
Well, they weren't happy with the way they played last week against Tampa Bay. Brian Urlacher said, we made a lot of mistakes, gave up some big plays. They're off to that same kind of start this week. Green Bay is getting some big chunks.
Packers 4th in the league on third down conversions. They need 7 yards. And Favre pass, short of the first down if he catches it, and it is a reception for David Martin. A 5-yard gain, and Lance Briggs making the tackle.
Brett Favre just needs to make a quicker decision, and it's going to be a race to the pylon. But I think it's a better option than trying to throw back into the middle of the field. Right there, right now, just go. Race number 43, Mike Green, to the pylon.
Meanwhile, on first down for the Bears, after stopping the Packers on 4th down, Thomas Jones burst forward for 13 yards and a first down to the 48-yard line. Jones, in his last 3 games against the Packers, have rushed for over 100 yards, twice last year and once the previous season as a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bears with a first down on their 48. Play action for Kyle Orton, and Orton is going deep for Justin Gage and overthrows him, and Mark Roman very nearly had his second interception.
Well, you can't wait all day for the Chicago Bear offense to finally catch stride. Green Bay has had 2 opportunities. They had a chance to recover a fumbled punt and didn't do it. They've got a chance to convert on a 4th down with good field position and didn't do it. Eventually, this offense is going to wake up, and they're going to put together a drive. And once Chicago gets the lead, that's when they play their best. And the thing that Green Bay needed to do today to put pressure on this offense was for them to come out and score early.
2nd and 10 at the 48-yard line. Here's Jones. And Jones fighting his way to midfield. Remember, the Packers had kept the ball for 5 minutes and 42 seconds. Could not generate that first down on the 4th down attempt. And now the Bears, after the 2-yard gain, looking at 3rd down and 8. Thomas Jones needs 88 yards coming into the game for the first 1,000-yard season of his career. 3rd down and 8, the midfield. Orton against the blitz, and the pass thrown behind Jones. He had to get rid of it in a hurry, Darryl.
He really did, and you can see Thomas Jones was not.
The Bears and the Packers going at it. For the first time in many years, the Bears are in the lead in the division. The Packers bringing up the rear. Bears threatening, 2nd down and 5 on the 30 of the Green Bay Packers. Thomas Jones changing direction, going to the left, foot race to the end zone. And Jones is knocked out of bounds at about the 3 by Nick Collins. So Jones with 28 yards, 1st and goal for Chicago.
Here's going to be your key block by Desmond Clark right here, because this is going to come and then come all the way back. He's going to get a block on number 20, Mark Roman, as it comes to the outside. He is the only defender there. You see all that space now. Desmond Clark does a good job staying alive, getting down there and sealing that 2nd level. There's his guy. That's his responsibility. He's backside cutoff. Now he's up on his feet. Gets another guy. A critical block right there for Thomas Jones to get down the field.
1st and goal at the 3 and play action. And Orton with an opportunity overthrows, and even had Gabe Reed not fallen down, he would have needed a step ladder or 2 to get a chance for that one.
Well, that has been the knock on Kyle Orton since that Cincinnati game. A lot of people, you see a lot of these overthrown balls. He had 5 interceptions against the Bengals. His confidence was shaken. But this week, everybody that you talked to out there at practice said he looked as confident as he ever has this season. But that throw right there, reminiscent of the types of throws he's had since that Bengal game.
2nd and goal at the 3 this time. They'll give it to Jones, and Jones is pushed back by the Packers. And we'll check forward progress right there. And it was Mark Roman, and both safeties for the Packers playing major roles early in the game. Thomas Jones, career high 959, looking to get to 1,000. It'll be 3rd and goal at the 3, no gain that time.
You know, the one good thing these Green Bay Packers defensive linemen are doing is getting the penetration. Usually you see defensive linemen getting low and letting the linebackers go and making a play. But these guys are staying up, getting penetration in the gaps, and that's what's forcing these running backs to make bad decisions.
And Tony, 2 tight ends, and Muhsin Muhammad, who's lined up to the left. 3rd down and goal for Kyle Orton. And going to Muhsin on the fade, can't hold on, covered by Al Harris. So they try to go to Muhammad, and Al Harris, who has not been beaten, Bay 3-0 on Robbie Gould's field goal from 21 yards out here in the 2nd. Thomas Jones bounces off a defender and picks up good yards. 7 yards on the play. Grady Jackson making the play.
You know, when you're a big guy like Grady Jackson, you got to run 12 yards out there to get a guy like Thomas Jones. You're going to make it count. And, he did on that last play, boy. He put everything he had right on top of him.
You'll do that on the cold days. If this is back in September and it's 85, 90 degrees here, I don't think Grady Jackson's out on that side of the field.
Yeah, us big guys don't want to run in the heat, but today we don't mind it too much.
2nd down and 3 at the 38. Here's Jones. They have a 1st down. Needed to get just inside the 35 as Nick Barnett, the middle linebacker, defending against Jones. Remember, needing 88 yards to go over 1,000.
The thing about this Chicago Bear running game is the patience that they have with it, and it's like anything else. The offensive line in the beginning of the game, it's not going to be real productive. They've got to figure out what Green Bay is trying to do to shut down their running game. Are they doing some stunts? And once they get comfortable, then they can start to anticipate, do a better job with their blocks, and they're starting to get into a rhythm right now with their run game.
Well, they're not passing at all, as you saw the numbers, but they are running effectively. 1st down on the 35. Play action, trying to get something through the air as Orton gets hit and holds on to the ball. He got hit on the blind side by Kabir Bajabiamila, a loss of 3 yards, and the Packers with another sack on Orton.
Well, this is not on John Tate. You know, he does a good job. Kabir comes back inside. You look at how long that Kyle holds that ball. He's got to have a better feel. And yeah, he threw the ball a little bit better this week, but he's still got to get a better feel of when that play has broken down. And he's either got to scramble, check it down, or throw it away.
5th sack for Bajabiamila. Aaron Campbell with 6.5, a career high, leads the Packers. So it's 2nd down, 13. Ball back on the 38 of the Packers. And the pitch to Thomas Jones. He fumbles. And the loose ball.
Green Bay ball.
Packers recover. Much trouble holding onto this ball. It's not supposed to be that way. Packers with a first down on the 40-yard line. And the handoff to Sam Congato has running room up the middle. And notice how he protected the ball with both arms. He gets a first down as he charges into Bear territory, a gain of 13. Alex Brown missed the tackle initially, and Gatto went to town.
Here's Alex Brown right here again, and the reverse is coming this way. Same play we saw earlier when Sam Congato was able to get inside it. This time, Alex Brown is all the way down inside. He just misses the tackle on that one. Sam Congato, good vision. Little jump step cut, gets to the outside.
And gets another opportunity on first down at the 48. Here's Gatto, determined and close to another first down. He may be shy by a half a yard. Mike Brown, the strong safety on the tackle. So a far different story now, guys, compared to the first 5 possessions of the Packers. They had to punt 4 times, and on the 3rd time when they were threatening, lost the ball on down.
Yeah, but when they've gotten into a good rhythm, it's been them running the ball on the perimeter. Somewhere along the way, you're not having a good job. David Martin, a good job sealing the outside right there against Adewale Agunlia, but Green Bay is having their success against the outside. The Chicago Bears are not doing a good job in run support on the perimeter.
2nd and 1, and the pass looked like it had bounced, and it's incomplete to David Martin.
Tackle. The second guy coming in, he's going after the ball.
2nd and 11 on the 49 following the penalty to Flanagan. And Favre stepping back, and this pass is going to be caught. Yes, caught by Antonio Chapman. And
Favre's hurt, guys.
Favre got hit. That's an 18-yard gain, and Brett Favre, and a flag is back down there. You would think it would be roughing the passer against the Chicago Bears.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer, number 99, punishing the quarterback with his weight. We'll add 15 yards to the end of the catch. First down.
18 plus 15 on Tank Johnson's penalty.
Well, you said punishing with his weight. That means he's going to pick him up and slam him to the ground. I don't know, Tony. That's your field.
I don't know. That's just picking on the big guys.
Yeah.
Punishing him with his weight. I mean, you got to stay off him, but I don't think weight's a factor here.
Yeah, but he didn't pick him up and drive him into the ground. You know, he kind of hit him and went through. And just because he's a big guy and he falls on top of Brett, I don't think he needs to be penalized on that. I think that's a touchy call right there.
Yeah, that is. It's hard, especially when you are big. You know, they talk about the weight situation, but when you are heavy, it's hard to stop everything, you know, all of a sudden. It's not like you're a running back.
How would you know?
I know a little bit about that situation.
1st and 10 on the 16, and there's Favre, and the pass thrown underneath to Donald Lee. And Lee getting about 6 yards with Hillenmeyer on the coverage. Brett Favre has had a really rough year on many counts. Many of the reasons is that the fact that the receivers have not been the same in each game. He's lost Bubba Franks. We know about Robert Ferguson. And, of course, some of the backs out as well. And Javon Walker was injured in week 1. 2nd down and 4. Packers on the 10-yard line. Kevin Barry, a tackle, is lined up as a tight end. He's number 71. They give it to Gatto. And Gatto gets inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short for the Packers. They are in field goal range for Longwell, trailing 3-0.
Well, that's usually what happens when you get into the red zone against the Chicago Bears. You kick field goals. They have been unbelievable. But look at what these possessions are. 25 possessions, only 5 touchdowns. Goal to go, 13 times goal to go, only 3 touchdowns. And then look at that, 5 yards or less. 7 times they have only given up 2 touchdowns. That is amazing in the red zone.
3rd down and 3. And they spread the defense with 4 wide receivers. And now Fisher goes in the slot. Here is Favre, and Favre completing it to Donald Driver, and 1st and goal for the Packers. Driver in traffic makes the grab, good for 7 yards, and the Packers have a 1st and goal.
Donald Driver is going to be coming in from the top of the screen on the underneath route. Brett Favre gets it into him in the middle, and he knows he's going to take a big hit. This is great concentration by Donald Driver.
You know, guys, Brian Urlacher was right there. He turned to look at Donald Driver. I think if he would have kept his eyes on the ball or the quarterback, he would have had an interception on that play.
He took the big hit over the interception?
Yeah, you know, it's tough to throw that one up. I like the big hit also, but get off the field and weather like this is also nice.
1st and goal at the 2-yard line, and there is the pass, trying to get it to Donald Lee. And covering him was Hillenmeyer. Pass a little bit too long for him, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, you saw the graphic we just had up. 7 times inside the 5 with goal to go, and Chicago has only given up 2 touchdowns. If they can do it 3 snaps here and prevent Green Bay from getting into the end zone, it's just amazing how they like hunker down at this point in the game.
And Moose, talk about receiver injuries. This is exactly where Brett Favre would love to have Bubba Franks, who has been a familiar target. See what Lovie Smith and his defense does on 2nd and goal at the 2. They give it to Gatto, and Gatto close to the goal line, touchdown. Gatto in for the touchdown, and the Packers.
I don't know what it is. You've been looking at Chicago for a while, and they haven't played really good. The players themselves said it. Even the defense hasn't played up to the level that they expect. Well, now they're in that situation where they're behind. Their offense has got to make a play. They just came out and did one right there.
And you mentioned Bernard Berrien, who really is the fastest receiver that the Bears have right now, and a gain of 39 yards.
He's at the top of the screen against Ahmad Carroll, one-on-one, and that's the one thing they want to do. They want to take advantages of those situations, and one of the developments for Kyle Orton has got to be to feel comfortable throwing it in that situation, because when you get all these guys up in the box, you're going to get some one-on-ones in press coverage. You've got to be comfortable throwing that ball down, let your guys make a play.
Kyle Orton does a great job of just staying in there, very confident in that box.
Adrian Peterson has come in the game at tailback, and Peterson gets the call on 1st down. And a good game by Peterson, gained 100 yards against the 49ers in his only start this year, picks up 6 yards with Aaron Campman on the tackle.
That was such a big play for Kyle Orton in this offense to execute at that time, because Green Bay goes down the field, they take the lead, and I think everybody has wanted to see, well, what's going to happen to Kyle Orton in this offense if we get behind? Does he have the ability to bring this team back? Lovie Smith said, sure, if we get him in that position, we feel confident he can, and there's another example of why Lovie Smith has that confidence in him.
Here's Peterson on 2nd down and 5, and this time dragged down from behind as he gets inside the 25-yard line by Robert Thomas, who returns to action after missing the last 2 games.
You're talking about that deep pass, Moose. I don't think people realize how that one pass affects the whole defense. It makes the defensive backs go and think, well, they can beat me deep again. They don't get rid of it really quick. It's something that lingers on a defense, and you have to go and respect it.
Tony, you said that at the outset. Once you show them you'll go deep, they have to be ready for it. 1st down on the 25-yard line. And there is Adrian Peterson as Thomas Jones getting a breather on this drive. 4-yard pickup with Robert Thomas on the tackle as we wind down to 5 minutes remaining in the 1st half here at Soldier Field. Vic Stockton along with the Moose, Darryl Johnson, the Goose, Tony Siragusa. 7-3 Packers lead.
Well, the one thing it does is it forces not only defending the field, but it's going to cause Al Harris and Ahmad Carroll now to be a little bit hesitant. They're not going to be able to jump these routes. They're watching this offense on film. They know they don't get the ball down the field a lot. They were ready to sit and jump on some of these passes.
2nd and 7, the fade to Muhsin Muhammad, and Al Harris with him step for step. 3rd and 7.
He's got to keep that ball in play. We just saw him do a good job with Bernard Berrien on the other side. If it's going to be one-on-one and you're going to throw the ball up there, at least put it in a spot where Muhsin Muhammad is going to have a chance to make a play on the ball. Al Harris does a good job with a jam right there to get him outside a little bit, but you see where that ball ends up. It's about 4 yards out of bounds.
3rd down and 7 for the Bears. Robbie Gould's field goal gave him a 3-0 lead. Gatto with a 2-yard run and the extra point. Packers in front. 3rd and 7, the pressure is on. And the pass, is it picked off?
No, he dropped it.
And Nick Barnett could not hold on.
Colin Jenkins.
Your toes are frozen.
Yeah, you guys wouldn't realize it. I realize it.
1st down on the 18 for Brett Favre. Samkon Gatto, who has gained 49 yards on 12 carries thus far.
That's got to be the disappointing thing for Lovie Smith. I really don't think that they felt that Green Bay would be able to come out and run the ball effectively against this defense. I think your concern automatically goes to Brett Favre, and Samkon Gatto's had a good performance as a guy that's come in and he's the focal point in the running game, but this Bear defense, you talked to him before the game, I don't think that Samkon Gatto was going to be their biggest fear.
And the pass to Ferguson is caught picks up a couple extra yards. First down to the 30, a 10-yard pickup. Despite that, Darryl, the Bears have outrushed the Packers 67-49. But Favre with the short pass to Ferguson and the first down.
Brett's just, he's real opportunistic in the passing games. He's hitting the critical passes. Sam Congado is going to come in for the protection on Brendan Iambadejo. Hey, when that guy leaves his feet, that's right, Sam Con. Take your best shot. Get yourself a highlight reel.
First down at the 30. Congado hit and dropped behind the line of scrimmage by Alfonso Boone. And a loss of 2 yards. And when you talk about the defensive front for the Chicago Bears, Darryl, you're talking about a team with a lot of depth there as well.
Well, the big thing is these guys, when they get upfield, I mean, they're just hitting guys. I mean, they're popping them, driving them back. I mean, Alfonso Boone's fighting through a double team, but they're like linebackers. When they make contact, they're coming forward. They're dropping their heads. They're not just falling on the guys. I mean, they're delivering some big hits.
And no, the Chicago Bears also do a great job of rotating those guys, so you really always have starters, and it's not like you have backups.
Second down and 11, and the screen pass to Gatto. Sam Congado, with great escapability, will have, it appears to be another first down beyond the 40. 12-yard pickup, and Scott Wells, the left guard, with a key block. Pat on the back to Nathan Vasher, who he blocked. First down at the 48, following the 2-minute warning. Packers leading by 1. And there is Favre up the middle to Tony Fisher. Fisher close to a first down. And guys, I think the Bears have their hands full today against this team.
Well, they really do. And, they had some opportunities early in the game, and Green Bay missed a few themselves. So they have been the team that has been in the best rhythm. Their defense has been playing well against an offense that struggled a little bit. But offensively, Green Bay against this defense has really played well the entire first half up until this point.
Second down and 1. Each team has all of their timeouts remaining with under a minute and a half remaining. Second and 1, Favre is going to throw it. The pump fake, Donald Driver has it. First down at the 32-yard line. And it was Tillman on the stop, a pickup of 7 yards.
To disrupt the rhythm that Brett Favre has established in the first half when you come out after halftime.
Second down and 3. There's Favre on the slant, and the pass caught by Tony Fisher, shy of the first down.
Good job. They're calling good plays now, too. Not only the execution, but good play calling. You've got a blitz right in your face. Brett Favre knows it's not going to get there because he's got the slant right in behind it.
And this Chicago defense is looking around and wondering what's happening out here.
Second and 2, so they needed more than 3 yards before. Now they need 2 on second and 2. Here's the leap, and the pass knocked away. Chapman was down there defended by Charles Tillman, and it was a jump ball situation, fighting for position.
These are the ones that everybody talks about with Brett Favre. Charles Tillman's in perfect position. Antonio Chapman does a good job coming back and knocking that ball away. But there you see, there's the safety coming over the top with help also.
I don't think you realize how great a job Chapman did. I'm standing about 10 yards behind him. He knew all of a sudden that the defender was in a better position to go and make a reception. He turns into a defender, knocks that ball out. What an unbelievable job by him.
Third down and 2. And here is Favre, drills it, and it's caught by Ferguson. And a first down for the Packers inside the 20-yard line. So an 8-yard pickup.
Depth. Before, they seemed to always be a little bit short on their third downs, and they were getting into a position where the Bears were able to come up and tackle them and prevent them from advancing the ball or getting more opportunities.
Ball's on the 7 out of the shotgun, and Favre under deep pressure, throwing it in the end zone. It's intercepted by Tillman. And Tillman races out. Charles Tillman. Fisher is the only one who has a shot. And Tony Fisher makes the tackle. A huge play by the Chicago Bears defense as Brett Favre throws the interception in the end zone, and a 96-yard return by Tillman on the interception.
You see this. It was the last weekend, the situation in Philadelphia. Heady play by Charles Tillman to bring this out. Mark Tosher was the only guy who had an opportunity to make a play. He slowed it down enough. Now the Chicago Bears, They've only got 6 seconds on the clock. They've got their field goal team out there, so they're going to get 3 points, or they're going to try for 3 points.
Fell just under 63, but the Bears have won 7 straight and have an 8-3 record on the line today. First down at the 30. Thomas Jones straight ahead. Jones got a breather with Peterson coming in toward the end of the half. Gets nearly 9 yards with Nick Collins making the stop.
A little bit different approach by the Bears starting this half. The first half they came out with great field position, 2 consecutive pass plays. The second one being an interception by the Green Bay Packers to steal some momentum back. This time I say stay with what got you here. You're a strong running team. Come out and establish it again in the second half.
Jones is averaging over 7 yards a carry, Darrell, and that would say that's a good idea. He gets the first down with a 5-yard pickup. So Jones in 9 carries, 65 yards gained as Robert Thomas makes the...
I cannot tell you how painful they are. And you saw Paris Leonard when he was on the ground kicking his legs as he went to commercial.
2nd and 8 at the 45, and Jones gets by 1 defender who missed. Barnett missed the initial play, and a gain of 5 yards with Roy Manning making the tackle on Jones. Jones, the workhorse, 12 carries, 77 yards, and you're right, it looks like the Bears are content to go back to basics, keep the ball on the ground where they've been most effective, at least in this first drive in the 3rd quarter.
I think that's what makes their run game so successful, is they never give up on it. You talk about teams that commit to the run. The Bears are probably your best example.
3rd down and 3, right at midfield. This time play action, pressure on Orton, and incomplete. They sent a couple of guys in, and Al Harris was one of them, and Aaron Kallenmeyer, who was out with a thumb injury before halftime, is back in there for the Bears. Gatto, not much there. No gain on the play as we go to James Brown for an update.
Hey, Dick, it's a New York Giants afternoon that is capitalizing on opportunities. Miscue there, picked up by Antonio Pierce on that bad handoff by Bledsoe. They score 17-3 Giants. I tell you what, Maurice Bennett, make that. Michael Bennett having himself a good afternoon as well. That little toss there for the score, 21-8. Minnesota on top. Back to Dick Stockton.
All right, JB, Minnesota winning big, and the Bears in a dogfight with the Packers. A 4-yard gain to Donald Lee, and Brett Favre and the Packers doing something no team has done. The most yards gained in a half against the Chicago Bears this season, 198 in the first.
Well, that was one of the things that the Green Bay Packers talked about in their preparation, was this defense hasn't faced a lot of top quality offenses. Really, Cincinnati, the one big offensive unit they faced Carolina, shut down Carolina. I think that was one thing that the Bears have kind of put in their hat. But Green Bay felt that there were areas that they could be productive today.
Well, 3rd down, and this is where they've really been good, and the ball tipped and goes incomplete as Brett Favre gets a lot of pressure that time. Antonio Chapman was the intended receiver.
80 yards downfield and gets involved in the tackle.
And here is Gatto on the handoff, and Gatto straight ahead, getting with second effort, getting past the 30, still short of the first down by a couple of yards. Mike Green finally makes the tackle after a 14-yard pickup. But that's the kind of spirit, Tony, that Brett Favre has had in his career, why he's so popular.
Watch Sam Gatto coming on the run right here. The backside of the defense. There's nobody there on the backside. There's your big spot right there. They've got one guy. They had Hunter Hillenmeyer there. He was the only player who was there on that backside. What Sam Gatto has been doing this afternoon is he's been pressing to the play side hole and then jumping backside. The Chicago Bear run defense is missing the support on the backside.
And there's the flip to Gatto. And Gatto trying to reach. And he may have the first down with the reach of the football.
You take a look at some of the runs he's had. A lot of them are going to come out the back door, like the one we just saw. A nice little move on Alex Brown right there to get to the backside. They found something with the Chicago defense today where their backside run support is not there. And then they're also using some different things with their play calling to take advantage of the aggressive style. They've run the reverse to hold the defensive end up the field. On the touchdown run, they had Flo initially go to the left to get the linebackers to run and then run a counter action back to the right side.
And that misdirection by Gatto was sufficient for a first down. So Sam Gatto with 63 yards on 16 carries goes to the bench, replaced by Tony Fisher. And Fisher carrying the ball on first down, and he gets 5 yards before Mike Brown and Mike Green combine to put the clamps on.
We got to go back and pay off those guys in the middle for the Green Bay Packers today. We talked about Scott Wells and Mike Flanagan and Gray Rugemer. Those were the 3 guys that were going to be the key today in battling up front against those interior tackles of the Chicago Bear defense. Now, some of these runs are going to the outside, but you've seen Sam Khan cut them back to the middle. That's because of how well those 3 guys inside have been playing all afternoon.
And Fisher going in motion on 2nd down and 4. And Brett Favre is throwing it up to the right sideline, and good coverage downfield by Urlacher on Tony Fisher. Ryan Urlacher racing downfield, and looks like he felt he should have picked it off.
Well, when you get a running back man-to-man against a linebacker who's 6'4", 250 pounds, you think you've got the advantage. But when it's Brian Urlacher, I really don't think you do.
You were just referring to the interior lineman. You know, Mike Flanagan has been a warrior this year, playing with the sore knee, and of course Wells and Rugemer, different guards in the lineup.
There they are right there in pass protection too. Gray Rugemer coming over and finishing off Alfonso Boone.
3rd down and 4. And Brett Favre, down he goes, and a loose ball, and no signal is given, and it is recovered. It is still Packer ball, and it was Mike Brown who forced the fumble. Gold accounting for the 9 Bears points. Sam Gatto with a 2-yard run, capping a 60-yard drive for the Packer touchdown. Thomas Jones going off to the left, pushed out of bounds by Al Harris, picking up 1.
You saw Brett Favre grimacing when he was coming back on that last play, but you know, he's not going to let anybody knows he's hurting right now. He's up. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, good shot. Yeah, okay. Yeah, everything's good right here. Then you get away and you're like, oh my gosh, that hurt.
Don't show him the pain.
Never
baby.
let him know you're hurt.
Never. That's more of a defensive lineman than a quarterback thing. I'm impressed by that.
Hangs out with those guys. 2nd and 10 at the 35. Jones. And a couple of yards, 2 yards for Thomas Jones, tackled by Montgomery. And right now, here's James Brown with a game break.
Hey, Dick, it is now a 7-point game between Dallas and the New York Giants. Take a look. Eli Manning picked off 2nd time of the day by Aaron Glenn, who hurts himself. We'll update you on that. Bledsoe, nice touch pass there to Terry Glenn. 7-yard strike. It is now a 7-point game. Giants holding to that lead in the 3rd. Back to Dick Stockton.
And that winner will move into undisputed possession of first place in the NFC East. And Orton completing a pass in traffic to the tight end Desmond Clark, getting 5 yards in the process. 4th down coming up, however, and Brad Maynard will have to kick.
Yeah, but for the Dallas Cowboys, you know, they haven't played since Thanksgiving. You know, the Giants overtime game last Sunday night against Seattle coming.
1st down for the Packers on the 20. 4:35 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Sam Gatto. And Gatto maybe a yard when all is said and done. Let's check the numbers in this game. So far, the Bears have outrushed the Packers 95-88, after the Packers had the edge in that department for most of the game. Gatto goes out, replaced by Tony Fisher. Gatto's gained 64 yards on 17 carries, averaging just under 4 a carry. Fisher carried twice, averaging 7. This is going to be a pass. Blitz pickup, good. And Donald Driver on the reception at the 40-yard line is pushed back. Nathan Vasher on the tackle, and they'll mark it at the 30.
He's become a much patient runner, making much better decisions.
He has a world of experience now.
Yeah, 4 games under his belt.
1st and 20, and the pass to Martin, and the tight end immediately hit and dropped. The Bears were there, 1-yard pickup, and it was Lance Briggs with some help. 1-yard gain with under 2.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Bears with the edge in the ground game, but not by much. Huge edge for the Packers through the air. Bears have managed only 6 first downs. You look at those numbers. The old story, Bears 0 for 7 in third downs. Who's winning?
Bears.
Looking for their 8th in a row. Second down and 19. Favre's pass. Great catch made by Donald Lee. A huge catch, reaching out to make the grab, and a gain of 26 yards into Chicago territory. And of course, he has been an Iron Man forever. First down and 15. Gatto. Samkon Gatto. They reach for the ball, but Gatto holds on, crosses the 40-yard line, and gets 9 before Tillman makes the play.
This is a little change-up that you can do with a fullback motion. You're gonna motion Vonta Leach over this way, so all of a sudden you think we've got run coming here. But what they do is they motion, and then they pull, and they run the trap coming out the backside. So this is a nice little change-up to break a key. And again, the patience of Samkon Gatto. He's got a much better feel running between the tackles.
73 yards for Gatto, and a chance for more here. And the Bears hang on as Brian Urlacher makes the play, and that times. Of course, then the game starts, and then you have to hit. First down at the 20 for the Bears, and the slant, and it's caught by Bernard Berrien. Berrien with the longest pass play of the game for the Bears, 34 yards, gets 7 here.
And they need to get back to a little bit of that. They've had a few plays called up, but they just haven't been able to get them down the field. And thank goodness for Bernard Berrien getting back in the game. There's your starting wide receivers for the Chicago Bears. The Packers are pitching a shutout to the 2 starters.
Remember Mark Bradley, the impressive rookie with a lot of speed, injured, out for the season. Adrian Peterson, who has made the most of his opportunities in this game, backing up Thomas Jones, picking up 5 yards, and a Chicago first down. Robert Thomas brings him down.
The end of that run is exactly what this Bears running game is about. Watch this. There's nothing pretty here. The whole pile is in there, and you just keep pushing, keep moving. Bodies falling all over the place, but they're beyond the first down marker.
Fighting for inches down there, Moose.
Yep.
Ron Turner, the offensive coordinator in his first year in Chicago. Peterson, by the way, averaging 5 yards a carry in his 4 tries. First down at the 32-yard line. Flag down.
There you go,
Free
Kyle.
play. Here's Berrien downfield. And the pass a bit short, and it's Ahmad Carroll defending. Crowd is looking for a pass interference call, but there was a penalty, as I said, back at the line of scrimmage, and now another one goes. So the penalty, 5 yards against the Packers, first and 5 on the 37. Hey, Orton has been cool under pressure all year as he hands off to Peterson. And Peterson driving for the first down, very close to it. Peterson, who has been an able backup to Thomas Jones in this game, as we mentioned, 4 carries for 20 yards, and now has 5 more, and another Bears first down.
And it doesn't look like much. I mean, they go into the pile, but I mean, they just continue to work. And when you talk to the Green Bay Packer defenders, they felt that the offensive line of the Chicago Bears worked well together as a unit. There wasn't one guy that really stood out. Not even Olin Kreutz, the center, who's a perennial Pro Bowler. But they said when you really watch them work together as a unit, one of the top groups they'd seen on film.
From the 43, first down, Peterson. Adrian Peterson gets into Chicago territory, and just short of a first down. Nick Collins, the free safety, makes the play on Peterson, running strong today.
And they're not just big mashers in the zone scheme. They're athletic. Terrence Metcalf right here, number 60. That is a very difficult block, because as a guy coming around the line of scrimmage, you don't see where your guy is. You've got to be ready to deliver the blow as soon as you make that turn. And Brady Papinga had stepped up into the hole. Terrence Metcalf was ready, was able to get a good shot on him.
Second down and 1. Early here in the 4th quarter, the Bears lead by 2. They go to Peterson again with a first down. This is Chicago Bears football. When you get to December and you're in the cold weather, you run the ball, and that's what Lovie Smith has said. Look, whatever happens early is important, but what we do in the 4th quarter really is critical to what this team accomplishes, and they have a first down with a 3-yard gain.
As a society and as sports fans, we enjoy scoring. The rules that are put in to the NFL after each season are things that are going to help scoring. You saw the National Hockey League take a year off. When they came back in, they had made adjustments to the game to increase the scoring. Lovie Smith will not give in to that. He's got his formula. It's worked before, and he stays with it.
And he stays with Peterson. who has been the workhorse on this drive. Aaron Campman making the tackle on Peterson after 3 more yards.
We are seeing, guys, the same play over and over. 2 plays ago, you know, we saw that little trap play with the pulling guard. Last play, we saw the same thing. They're running the same plays inside and just sticking with them and moving the ball down the field. I mean, it's a war in there on the offensive defensive line right now.
Well, I played for Ron Turner's brother, Norv Turner, down in Dallas, and that his thing in the running game, if he's got something that's working, he's going to run it until the defense stops it.
Not a bad idea. 2nd and 7. And this time the fade pattern, and Berrien is there. Did he keep both feet in? Yes! It's a catch by Berrien. Hawkins was with him, and a big play of 18 yards, first down of the 25 of the Packers.
They get the one-on-one on the outside. You know, Kyle Orton starting to build a little chemistry right there. Bernard Berrien, a good job getting his feet down. You know, Michael Hawkins is not in bad position on that play. Just comes up a little bit short, and he's able to adjust back on the ball.
So Bernard Berrien, who missed the last 5 games with a broken thumb, and he's got the speed that the Bears need opposite Muhsin Muhammad. And a first down. Here is Adrian Peterson. Still on his feet. Adrian Peterson getting the admiration of this sellout crowd here at Soldier Field. Gets 9 yards. Would it look like he was stopped for 1?
You know, Kyle Orton must have saw Brett Favre on this last play. He hands the ball off, and then all of a sudden he sees that he's in the running back's going to go on the outside. Kyle Orton gets up there, throws his body, tries to make a block. I don't know if he's watching Brett Favre on the other side of the ball, guys, but he's trying to do anything he can out there.
Well, it's just contagious. The effort that Adrian Peterson has had on this drive has brought a tremendous spark to the Bears offense. You saw Jason McKee going back to the huddle. He's all fired up. They are imposing their will on the Packer defense right now.
And they go again to Peterson. And this time is stopped short by Grady Jackson. That was the 10th carry of the game for Peterson. He has 10 carries for 49 yards. And remember, Thomas Jones is getting a chance to rest. Good 1-2 punch, and there you see it for the Bears. Jones and Peterson, both at 5 and 5.5 yards per carry.
But the big thing, 25 attempts. I mean, they just keep pounding it at you, pounding it at you.
3rd down and 1, and here's the flip to Peterson. Peterson going on the outside, and a great play by Nick Collins, the rookie from Bethune-Cookman. And Peterson unable to get the first down on the 38-yard line for the Packers, who trail by 5. Favre, and the pass caught by Robert Ferguson, and a first down. And while we're talking about people who have passed away that are etched in the memories, Tom Miller, who's a member of the Packers front office for 33 years. Vince Lombardi's right-hand man and a member of the Packers Hall of Fame also passed away. That happened this weekend at the age of 87. So our condolences to both the Concanon and the Miller families. First down at the 46-yard line of Chicago for Green Bay. Gatto bobbles the ball, and a loose ball. Bears recover. Lance Briggs made the recovery. Tommy Harris started loose, but I wonder whether it was in the handoff.
Had to. The defense has stepped up and made the key plays of the game. Won at halftime by Charles Tillman. Right there, that play by Tommy Harris is huge.
Jones into Packer territory with a gain of 7 yards. Brady Papinga, who replaced the injured Paris Lennon, a strong side linebacker, making the stop. And you can be sure, if the last drive was any indication, Darryl, that the Bears are going to chew up more of the clock and keep the ball on the ground.
Yeah, 13 plays, 34 yards, 3 points. Vintage Chicago Bears today. But you know what? They win. And, you know, we mentioned earlier, you know, a lot of people want to see points and a lot of high-scoring shootouts, and we fell in love with the Colts last year. But guess what? The Bears have got 8 wins this year.
And Thomas Jones has 1,000 yards, and right now Orton has a big loss back to the 43-yard line. 9-yard loss. Cullen Jenkins not to beat.
Yards of effective field position.
First down. Gatto with the running play, maybe a yard. Brian Urlacher is there.
You think about the eyes of Mike Singletary back in the day when he played middle linebacker for the Bears, and there's a look at Brian Urlacher coming up, takes on the fullback, and makes the tackle. I think even Lovie Smith is impressed by the athleticism of Brian Urlacher. You know, a guy that's really specific in what he wants his defenders to do. He's amazed by what Brian Urlacher can do at that middle linebacker spot.
2nd down and 9, and Favre in the end zone fires. And the flag goes down. Donald Driver interfered with it by Mike Green. And a huge gain for the Green Bay Packers. 36 yards on the penalty. 1st down for the Packers on their 40. Tony Fisher is now the running back. Favre is going to Martin, the tight end. And good coverage by Lance Briggs, step for step with him downfield.
Well, it's been a crazy day for Brett Favre. A little bit of everything. He's been a lead blocker. He's taken some big hits in the pocket. A little bit painful day at the office. But he is so resilient. And he's come out. This Packer offense has kind of gotten back on track. You know, a very, very poor decision by Brett Favre at the end of that first half to give up some points and allow Chicago to get 3 right before the end of halftime. But he's come back out. You know, he makes those plays and it has no impact on him. He just shrugs them off, comes right back out, lines up the next series, and goes at it again.
Packers need a touchdown to take the lead. 2nd down and 10, loses the ball, and the Bears may have it. The Bears do have it. Tillman coming in to force the fumble, and the Bears get it on the 30 of Green Bay.
You got a free blitzer coming. He's coming from the top. I don't know why these two, they're working in conjunction. Somebody's got to kick out to the outside to Charles Tillman. Donald Lee recognizes it. You got to get on your horse, 86. You just turned the guy loose. You know this has got the potential for a sack fumble. Get back into the pocket and be ready if that ball comes loose. Don't watch from the line of scrimmage.
2nd fumble by Favre. And Ogunleye recovered it, and a 1st down on the 30-yard line of Green Bay. Thomas Jones escapes one defender and gets to the 30. Mark Roman on the tackle. It'll be no gain as we go to L.A. and a game break. Here's James Brown.
Dick Stockton, what a tough stretch for Jay Feely, the field goal kicker for the New York Giants. Will this miss from 33 yards at 5:19 left in regulation come back to haunt them? He's missed 4 out of his last 5. What a rough stretch for him. Back to Dick Stockton.
The ghost of the kickers.
2nd and 10. Here's Orton. And Orton trying to go to Muhsin Muhammad, out of bounds, covered by Al Harris once again. 4:14 remaining here in the 4th quarter. And the Chicago Bears getting the ball back on the 3rd turnover committed by the Packers.
But they're not sloppy turnovers. I mean, Chicago is forcing the turnover. Sometimes you see some sloppy turnovers. Nothing sloppy about this. The one, you know, Sam Congato could have gotten on the ball, but Tommy Harris makes that play. He's the disruptive force that time. Charles Tillman comes in and just blindsides Brett Favre on that last one.
3rd down and 10. On the 30-yard line, here's Jones. And Jones getting to about the 24-yard line. a.m. Central Time. 1st down on the 33 for the Packers. Brett Favre back to work. Goes underneath to Antonio Chapman. And Chapman gets it out to the 40 for a gain of 7.
Brett Favre right back in the huddle. Just after that last series, a big hit, big sack fumble. He just comes back out on the field, keeps working at it.
Funny thing is he never looks to his backside where he got that hit last time. He has confidence in Clifton on that left tackle position and just turns his back to him, knowing that, hoping that'll get the job done, guys.
2nd down and 3.
You're changing, we're changing.
Favre complete to Driver, and Driver will get the first down. He had to give ground initially with Vasher on him, and he ends up with a 6-yard gain, and the Packers get the first down to the 45.
We're not even giving ground, coming back for that ball. I mean, that's a great play by Donald Driver, because you see a lot of guys wait on that pass, and the speed of the defenders nowadays, they're going to undercut you, they're going to make an interception. And you know, as a quarterback, you're throwing that ball to a spot. As a receiver, the responsibility is on you to work your way back to make the catch.
5 catches, 46 yards for Donald Driver to lead the Packers today. Favre quickly getting rid of it, and it's picked off by Nathan Vasher. No flags down. Touchdown, Bears. Yard return by Nathan Vasher as Brett Favre tried to go to the well, meaning Donald Driver once too often here.
He runs a little out route. Nathan Vasher jumps all over it. It's thrown behind Donald Driver, but that wasn't the big reason. Nathan Vasher knew something, whether from his film study, from a pre-snap read, or he just gambled on that one, but he had a tremendous jump on the ball.
7th interception for Vasher.
Hey, gotta get some vacation time.
Hey, Chicago, it's winter time.
Won't get it here, Tony.
You gotta buy a tanning bed or something, man. He needs to get some color.
3 minutes remaining in the 4th. First down at the 28-yard line. Brett Favre swings it out to Tony Fisher. Fisher drops at the 36. Picks up 8 yards.
The big thing about today's game is, does the upcoming opponents of the Chicago Bears see something that Green Bay did? Because really, Green Bay's offense beat themselves today. And they've had the turnovers, some real critical mistakes, but they've run the ball effectively. They've made some plays in the passing game. You saw the average per yards given up. Chicago leads the league. Green Bay has surpassed that today. They're going to have to watch this film and correct these mistakes, because everybody else that plays them is going to be watching it.
2nd down and 2. You saw Fisher limp off. Gatto replaces him. And this pass incomplete. Thrown behind Donald Driver. 3rd down and 2 as we approach 2 minutes remaining. But the Chicago Bears imposing their will in the 4th quarter. And that's what Lovie Smith had said. It's the 4th quarter is what you do, is what you're all about. And that's what the Bears have been all about, with great ball control, running the ball, tiring the Bears defense, and then their own defense taking advantage of miscues and taking it to the house. Third down and 2. Far pass tipped and nearly caught by Chapman. Lance Briggs got a hand on it, and Antonio Chapman almost came up with the ball. So it's 4th down, and the Packers will have to go for it, trailing 19-7.
Trying to get this one up the seam. Look at everybody conversion. There's Brian Urlacher. You mentioned the athleticism of before. Now, the defense that was made popular in Tampa Bay, that everybody runs around the NFL now, the Tampa 2 that you hear, that the middle linebacker has the responsibility of really the middle of the field. You know, sometimes all the way down where it's cover 3. Nobody covers that ground like Brian Urlacher.
4th down and 2. Driver. And Driver makes the catch, and it may be enough for a first down, and it is. First down at the 39-yard line, 2 minutes remaining. Each team has 2 timeouts remaining. Fisher going wide right, and Chapman making the catch. Picking up about 9 yards with Lance Briggs and Brian Urlacher on the play. Second down and 1. And nearly another interception, and Urlacher almost had that one. Jerry Azuma also in front. And they really blanketed the intended receiver, Robert Ferguson.
89, Robert Ferguson coming out of the slide, just a seam route. He's covered very well. Brett Favre trying to fit one in there.
He tried to thread that needle. I don't know about fit one in there. He threw that into the pretty good coverage there, guys.
21 interceptions thrown by Brett Favre, far and away the high in the NFL this year. 3rd down and 1. Wing pass to Fisher. 4th down coming up. And the Packers will go again on 4th down for another attempt.
Well, we've talked about how dominant this team has been this year in only their 2nd year of this system, the Bears defense. Look at where these guys are signed through. Brian Urlacher through 2011. Adewale Agulia, 2009. Your key guys, Tommy Harris, 2008. Mike Brown, 2008. I mean, this group is going to have a lot of time to play together and build that chemistry to take the next step. And Tony Siragusa, you know how important that is for a defense.
There's a lot of front office people in the NFL that are looking at that scared to death, because if they're playing that well right now as a defense and hitting as hard as they just hit right there, I mean, how much better can this group get? They're playing so well together. They're getting better as the game
that has given them fits for the last 15 years.
1st down for the Packers. They have 1 timeout remaining. And here's Favre's pass. Donald Driver with the catch, and down he goes at the 37-yard line after picking up 13 yards on the play. And of course, a lot of people were not really sure of the Bears. They knew they had the defense, not the offense. They beat Carolina at home a couple of weeks ago. Last week beating Tampa Bay on the road. And that really opened up the eyes and the eyes of a lot of people around the league. Fisher with 11 gets the 1st down, but the clock running, under a minute remaining. Favre fighting to the finish as he always does. And Azuma very nearly had the pick. 2nd down and 10. So let's go back. Bears took a 3-0 lead. Robbie Gould, the first of 4 field goals. Sam Congatto put the Packers in front, and then the interception by Charles Tillman ran it back 95 yards. Another field goal. It was 12-7, and the breakout play, Nathan Vasher's 45-yard interception for the touchdown.
Now you look at that recap, all it is, it's field goals and big plays by this Bears defense. Their offense does just enough to allow that defensive group to get a rest and come back out ready to play the next series.
2nd down and 10, going for Ferguson. And out of the end zone. Tillman on the coverage. We want to thank our technical and production staff for their work today here at Soldier Field. Today's game produced by Bob Stenner and directed by Sandy Grossman. The associate director, Charles McDonald. And the sideline producer, Robert Slosby. The associate producer is Wayne Wilson. The broadcast associate, Corey Brocious. The technical producer, Bob Mueller. Pre-game show was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The studio technical supervisor is Jack Simmons. The senior producer is Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Here's Fisher, and he'll get the 1st down. We also like to thank our crew up here, our spotter Chris Visser, our statistician Rick.
Time for the contenders to step up and the pretenders to step back.
Snap. Favre handles it. Now firing it into the end zone to Chapman, and broken up by Nathan Vasher. 8 seconds on the clock, and Tank Johnson.
Come on, Tank! Come on, Tank!
help him
Get
up.
him
I think he really wanted to on the first try.
Oh, this is vintage Favre right here. I mean, all over the place. Look at the vision, the presence right there. Adewale Agulia is going to just blow him up. It's like he's got eyes in the back of his head. He senses him coming, steps out of the way, and takes a shot into the end zone. Classic.
He had a guy there. He also had a defender in front of him. So 8 seconds remain. 4th down and 10. And Brett Favre goes underneath to Fisher. And Fisher inside the 5-yard line, picks up 11. Time has run out, and it finally ends for Brett Favre. His domination over the Bears